row 1, column 1 comes from that row being fed through that column. So you have a 1 times a 2. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. It's a 1 times a 2 plus this 2 times this 3. So you're going across and down. 2 times 3 plus 1 times 2. Now you are done with row 1 and column 1. I'm going to erase what we just circled so it will be less confusing when we start over. But just check out the corresponding color coding before I do anything. Alright, so now I'm going to erase those so we can start over. Now we are looking and coping with row 1 and column 2. So that's row 1 still, and that will get fed through column 2. So the first thing in row 1 goes to the first thing in column 2. The second thing in row 1 goes to the second thing in column 2. The third thing in row 1 gets multiplied by the third thing in column 2. And it goes in the block labeled row 1, column 2. So the 1 gets multiplied by this 2. 1 times 2 plus this 2 gets multiplied by this. Oops, I think I just did it wrong. Crap. I was in column 1 by accident. I'm sorry if I'm sure I confused you. I'm in column 2. Ugh. I think I'm just having technology issues. It's 1 times 3 plus the blue 2 should get multiplied by this now blue 1. And then the 1 in row 1 should get multiplied by this negative 1 in column 2. Now we've used row 1 completely. Row 1 got distributed to column 1, row 1 got distributed to column 2. So now we will move on to row 2 with column 1 and row 2 with column 2. So here, this 3 will get multiplied by this 2. So we'll have 3 times 2 plus this 1 times this 3 plus this 3 times this 2. Check out the pairings and where everything goes. And lastly, we have to do row 2 and column 2. I'll wait a couple seconds and then remove that so we can start over. So now, row 2 and column 2. This 3 in row 2 will get multiplied by this 3, the first with the first. So it becomes 3 times 3 plus this 1. Ugh, I keep clicking on this by accident. This 1 times this 1. I almost did the wrong thing again. It's 1 times 1 plus this 3 times this negative 1. Nothing about this is actually hard, but it's very confusing because you have to keep track of where you are, what you've done, and what you're multiplying by what. It just takes a lot of attention to detail, but you're really just multiplying and adding a bunch of numbers. So now, if I had more space, I would probably just simplify in the little blocks I created, but I don't feel like I have enough space in there. So I'm going to simplify it here. Row 1, column 1. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 times 2 is 2. Row 1, column 2, 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 1 is 2, 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Then row 2, column 1, 3 times 2 is 6, 1 times 3 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6. Row 2, column 2, 3 times 3 is 9, 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And completely simplifying that, 2 plus 6 plus 2 is 2 plus 6 is 8 plus 2 is 10. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. 6 plus 3 plus 6 is 15. 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. And as we predicted, we ended up with a 2 by 2 matrix. Now moving on to more examples. Example 3 here. The first thing you always need to check is the size of the two matrices that you are looking at. So what is the size of this first matrix? How many rows does it have? 1, 2, 3. So it's a 3-row by how many columns? 1, 2. Oops. And then the other matrix has how many rows? 1, 2. And how many columns? Looks like 3 to me. So can you multiply these two together? What are you supposed to check? You check if this number and this number are the same, which they are, and you will end up with a 3-row by 3-column matrix in the end. So 3 rows and 3 columns. I'm creating 3 rows first. Hope this is big enough. And then 3 columns. Okay, so now, same idea. This is I don't know what's happening. Row 1, column 1. Row 1, column 2. Row 1, column 3. Row 2, column 1. Row 2, column 2. Row 2, column 3. Row 3, column 1. Row 3, column 2. Row 3, column 3. Okay, so row 1 with column 1. That means row 1 here, 2 and 3, will get multiplied by 1 and 3. The 2 is the first thing in that row. It will get multiplied by the 1, the first thing in that column. So 2 times 1 plus this 3 gets multiplied by what? This 3. Then we'll move on to row 1 with column 2. So the 2 and the 3. The 2 and the 3 is going to get used again. This is my theory of it. The 2 and the 3 gets distributed to here. Then it gets distributed to here. And then it gets distributed to there. We're currently on the 2 and the 1. So right now, the 2 will get multiplied by the 2, and the 3 will get multiplied by the 1. So that goes here. It's 2 times 2. I guess I should match up my colors again. 2 times 2 plus 3 times 1. And then again, the 2 and the 3 will get brought through to the 1 and the 3. So the black 2 will get multiplied by the black 1. and then the blue 3 by the blue 3. We have now completely finished threading row 1 through each of the 3 columns that were available. So now we're done with row 1. The same logic applies, but this time we are going to take row 2 to column 1, to column 2, and to column 3, one at a time. So row 2, I think I might circle the whole row here, because this is the one we're focusing on, or at least point to it, I guess. This 3 and this 1. This 1 with this 3. So 3 times 1 plus 1 times 3. Now we go to the next one. The same row, but then this 2 and this 1. So we are on 3 times 2 plus 1 times 1. Last row and column. This 1 and the 3, this 1 and that 3. Oops, I have no idea what I just did. So I'm taking the 3 times the 1 plus the blue 1 with the blue 3. Almost done. I'm going to erase all of that. So you can kind of follow what's happening, because now we're done with row 2 and we have to redo all of that with row 3. So we'll be here on row 3, and I'm going to take row 3 to each of the columns in the other matrix. This 2, this should be black, hold on, for consistency's sake, oops. This 2 times this 1, this negative 1 times this 3, then the next column, the same 2, but now it's going to get multiplied by this 2, and this negative 1 times that 1. Last column. This 1, this 3. So it's 2 times 1 plus negative 1 times 3. Simplifying all of that, I may try to squeeze this in here. I don't think I can. 2 plus 9, 4 plus 3, 2 plus 9, 3 plus 3, 6 plus 1, 3 plus 3, 2 minus 3, 4 minus 1, 2 minus 3. And simplifying that further,